with all that down, let's get into our main topics. And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Nels V, who writes, "Hello, John. I follow your Instagram, and I saw you post a picture of you watching WandaVision, but you never followed up and told us what you thought of it. You can't tease us like that, man. So, did you like it? Does it live up to the hype? Does it give us a reason to be excited for the other Disney Plus shows? We need to know." All right, man. Thanks a lot for sending that in. And yes, Ann and I were able to sit down the other day and watch the first 3 episodes of WandaVision. Now, just so you guys know, WandaVision obviously airs on Friday, tomorrow, or tonight at midnight, depending on where you live. And they are going to launch the show with the first 2 episodes. So they're going to launch it with the first 2. Why they let us see the first 3, I'm not sure, but I'm glad they did. But we watched the first 2 episodes, and of course we watched the third one as well. They're going to launch with the first 2. So listen, Ann and I are going to do a spoiler review every week of WandaVision, just like we did with Mandalorian. So I'm not going to go into any spoilers here. I'm just going to give you my general impressions of what WandaVision is, how it turned out. And before we get into that, listen, the response has been fantastic. A lot of people are really, really liking this. Obviously, the ratings for it over on Rotten Tomatoes, they have 81 critic reviews in already. It's sitting at 95%. So that's there. So everybody seems to be liking it. Here's my thoughts on it, okay? Here are my thoughts of WandaVision. It is, without a doubt, the most unique thing that Marvel has ever done under the guidance of Kevin Feige. Now, we all kind of guessed that WandaVision was going to be different. We could tell from the trailers. The trailers all looked a little strange and weird, in a good way, but very strange and weird. So we knew to expect something a little bit different. I was not prepared for truly how different this show is. I mean, look, we talked about this before. Somebody brought up on the show the other day and asked, how much do you think they're going to lean into the sitcom nature of it? And I said, you know what? I actually don't think they're going to lean into the sitcom part of it too much. I think that's just going to be part of the context, but I really don't think it's going to be that big of a part of the show. I can tell you I was wrong. They very, very much lean into the sitcom aspect of this show. And all 3 episodes I watched go to a different era of sitcoms, and it moves gradually forward in time. So episode 1 is like the earliest days, like Honeymooners kind of sitcom, right? And then you get into maybe the 50s or 60s, and then you get in episode 3 and you're into the 70s and things like that. And it really does lean very, very heavily into it. And I'm going to tell you, me and Ann had 2 different responses to it. Because about 15 minutes into episode 1, I'm like, well, this is cute. And I was just waiting for it to get to the good stuff. I'm like, this is cute. But sitting beside me, my wife, Ann, she was ear to ear grinning and laughing hilariously. And she was like it was like I was watching my wife watching her favorite thing she's ever seen on TV. I mean, it really, really clicked for her. And I thought it was good. Like, I thought, yeah, this whole, sitcom thing, going through the different eras, the black and white thing of it. This is charming. This is nice. This is entertaining, and it's charming, and it's nice. With little hints, they show this in the trailer, little hints that something's not quite right. Right? They show that in the trailer, that they're in this idyllic kind of sitcom world, but they start picking up on something's wrong. What is it? Something's wrong, right? But they really do mainly focus on the sitcom aspect of it. And it's charming and nice. And I liked it. But I will also say I didn't love it at first. I was just kind of waiting for them to get more into that other stuff they showed in the trailer, the what's wrong part, right? But my wife had a completely different experience. She was eating every second of that up. And then as we move into episode 2, which jumps forward a decade or two in sitcom eras, it just maintained that. And Anne was just dying. And I was really tuning into it more and more and more. And then by the time you get to the end of episode 3, that's when, again, I'm giving nothing away here, but by the time you get to the end of episode 3, that's when they really start to introduce things are definitely off in this world. Things are definitely wrong in this world. So listen, overall, again, I don't want to go into it too much. All I'm going to say is that I enjoyed it and freaking loved it, but it very much felt like Act 1 of a movie. You know, movies, 3-act structure, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. It very much felt like Act 1 of a movie. And I feel like the end of episode 3 was getting ready to transition us into the main body of the show, transition us into Act 3. But it is, again, totally different from anything we've seen in the MCU before. And they have found a way to make it work. Now, for those of you who may not know much about WandaVision at this point, this basically sums it up. After the events of Avengers Endgame, Wanda Maximoff and Vision are living the ideal suburban life in the town of Westview, trying to conceal their powers as they begin to enter new decades and encounter television tropes. The couple suspects that things are not as they seem. And this is actually a 100% perfect, 100% perfect description of the show. And it's really entertaining, really different. And here's the cool thing. I feel like them setting this up is going to add to the impact and the drama of what comes in the next set of episodes. So yeah, it's fun, it's charming, it's different. It's everything they kind of said it would be and more. So I'm really looking forward to you guys seeing it and getting your impressions of it. It's just, again, I've said the word about 30 times. It is just so different. It's just so different. And I wasn't expecting it. Again, like I knew they were going to do the sitcom thing, but I didn't think they were going to lean so heavy into it. And they do it to really good effect. And I cannot wait to see what you guys think about this. It comes out, if you live in, the West Coast, it comes out at midnight tonight. Otherwise, you guys are going to see it tomorrow. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. is when Ann and I are going to do our spoiler review of the first 2 episodes. We're going to save the 3rd episode, obviously, until next week when the 3rd episode airs. But anyway, guys, question is, where are your expectations right now for WandaVision? Have you been hearing good things like I have? Are you expecting it to be great? Are you expecting it not to be? Or is the way I'm describing it sound like what you're expecting? Maybe it isn't. Jump down into the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys.